We're in Bali, and one of our excursions, we booked the Mount Batur Jeep Sunrise with the natural hot spring added onto it. The tour group was Bali Maha Tour, and we absolutely loved our guide. He was so great. He spoke English really well, and he was really informative and explained a lot about Indonesian culture to us. This is probably one of my favorite tours we've done so far in Bali. So as you can see on this photo, the start time is 3 a.m. Yes, it's early, but it's 100% worth it. Mount Batur is just outside of Ubud, so if you are far away from Ubud, your start time is going to be a lot earlier. We were in Sukawati, so our drive to Mount Batur was about an hour and 15 minutes, I'd say. Another reason to book with Bali Maha Tour, not only was our guide fantastic, but he was also a local. And when you get to the mountain, there are several checkpoints where locals will be collecting money, and it takes a long time for anybody who's not a local to go through those checkpoints. But since he was a local, he's basically like a part of this mountain mafia, I guess. So he was able to get us in really fast, really quick. We didn't have to wait in these lines. Anyway, once we got to about the base of the mountain, we then switched to the Jeep, where we had our second driver, who then drove us up to the mountain. It is a bit chilly, so wear a jumper or something like that. There was a lady who was selling blankets or renting out blankets, I don't know. So if you don't have a jumper when you come to Bali, you can also do that option. The drive up the mountain is quite rocky, I feel like that's pretty obvious, but I get quite car sick. I was okay because it was in the Jeep, you're in the back, there's an open air and everything, so I felt okay. But if you're like me and you are prone to car sickness, make sure you have some travel sickness medicine or some travel bands. I found that I still used mine even if I felt okay. Once you get up to the sunrise spot, there are a lot of other Jeeps around. It is very, very busy. Don't stress though, you'll still have a great view and you'll be able to get a lot of great photos. Our guide took so many beautiful photos of us. Also a part of our tour, they give you a hot drink. So I had hot cocoa. They also offer tea and coffee, and then they give you a breakfast of hard-boiled eggs, sandwiches with banana in it, and then some chocolate. We got up to the mountain about 4 a.m. so it was quite dark, and then sunrise was at about 7. So you are there for a few hours, but again, this is the time where you're going to take photos. You can have breakfast, have your hot drink, and just chill out. We luckily were some of the first people to leave after we got our sunrise photos, and I'm really glad we did this because coming down, it would have been really crazy with all these other cars. But I'm glad that we were able to leave a little bit earlier than everybody else, because then we went to our second spot, which was the volcanic rock, the black rock area. The last big eruption was in the 1960s, so all of this black rock is from that eruption. Again, our guide was able to get a lot of really cool videos and photos, but once we were done with that, we decided to head back earlier before all the rest of the people started to come and before anybody else left, because we wanted to get to the hot spring, which I recommend doing to get there early because there are a lot of people on this tour. This is low season and it still was packed. So get there early, leave there early, get your photos, get out because it is busy. I did mention wearing a jumper, but make sure you're also wearing good shoes because you're not gonna do a lot of climbing if you're not doing the trekking, but you should still have good, comfortable shoes, even if you are going to be in the Jeep for a lot of the time, because there are some points where you're going to be walking around, and it's better to have good shoes so you're not slipping and falling and possibly getting hurt. I also was really thankful I had my sunglasses just because there was a lot of dust that was hitting us in the face, and I wish I would have had something to cover my mouth as well because again, the dust, and I was like choking on it. Then the last part of our tour was the natural hot spring. We got there early and it was still, as you can see in these videos, it was quite packed. Our guide said the best times to go was before 9 a.m. and after 2 p.m. because after that, it is very busy. And as we were leaving, we saw a huge line of people trying to get in. Also, our guide told us that the water gets refilled and filtered out, so you really don't have to worry about germs as much, because I was a bit worried about it. I was like, oh, we're just sitting in some dirty, hot water all day. But no, it does get filtered out and it is cleaned. Well, not clean, but you know what I mean. They also offer you a free juice, and there is a little restaurant, so you can order food here as well. We swam here for about an hour, which I think is a good amount of time. Then you get a locker and key here, and there's also showers, changing rooms, and bathrooms at this point, so you can change into your bathers, shower if you need to, and then come into the water. After this was not part of our tour, but since we left early, we asked our guide if we could stop at a cafe, and he said he knew a spot, and he definitely did, because this is such a beautiful cafe. It had a gorgeous outlook of the mountain, and he said that this is where he takes his family. So we were able to get a coffee and some breakfast here for the ride back, which took about an hour and a half to almost 2 hours because it's Bali. There's a lot of traffic, so it took a little bit longer to get back. Overall, I really loved this tour. I thought it was so much fun. It was a very unique experience. And I would honestly do it again because we really enjoyed it so much. So thank you, Bali Maha Tours, for taking us out.